Now, ever since the reveal of Imus, so many theories have been presented about what the Abyss is and how Imu's abilities work. So, first, I want to summarize exactly how Imu's powers work and what the source of these powers could possibly be. Now, what is the Abyss? The Abyss is a magical summoning mechanism, essentially a pentagram-based teleportation circle used by the 5 Elders and the God's Knights. It allows those marked by Imu to instantaneously travel or be summoned across vast distances through these magical circles. Mind you, Shanks got rid of his when that entire incident happened with Luffy. Now, Imu's powers connect deeply to the Abyss. In chapter 1150, Imu demonstrates a technique known as a Kuwaru, or Demon's Contract, which uses an abyss created in the air to engulf a target in return for a portion of their remaining lifespan. The victim transforms into a demonic immortal form endowed with immense strength. Now, this is followed by Domi Reversi, where Imu rotates the target into the abyss, fully submerging them and completing their demonic transformation, like flipping a piece in the board game Reversi. In chapter 1150, Imu's control over the abyss becomes terrifyingly clear. Imu possessing Gankwa uses Supreme King Haki to incapacitate giants across Elbaf. Imu's demonic form manifests complete with wings, tail, and a trident, while summoning weapons like cannons via abyss magic circles. Key giants like Dory and Brogy were subjected to Domi Reversi, transforming into immortal demonic kings of Elbaf, remade under Imu's command. But here's the thing, to understand the source of Imu's power, we have to look at another enigmatic figure in the world of One Piece that has remained under, well, a lot of fog until recently, and that figure is Davy Jones. When Xebec declares himself a worshipper of Davy Jones, it's not a random line. It's a deliberate narrative spark that lights up a lore thread that's been lurking since Foxy's Davy backfight arc. Davy Jones isn't just folklore in the One Piece universe. It turns out he's said to have been cursed by the devil to live eternally at the bottom of the sea, collecting lost treasure, an origin story that devolved into pirate myth and gave rise to the infamous Davy backfight. Now, here's the thing. In chapter 1155, Oda drops a bomb. Rocks used that very game not just for sport, but as a method of recruiting heavyweights like Whitebeard, Shiki, Stussy, and more. This reframes the Davy backfight from comic side quest to a ritual of power. The way Rocks put together his legendary crew isn't comedic, it's foundational. To me, that revelation suggests Davy Jones was a real person or divine figure in the One Piece world, whose name became synonymous with C's supernatural power, perhaps even the origin of the Devil Fruit Curse. And Rocks, understanding more than most, didn't misquote a pirate legend. He aligned himself with Davy Jones' legacy, perhaps craving that ancient power or curse. Yet here's where the story feels ambivalent or unresolved on purpose. Why is Davy Jones such a ghost in the narrative? No one except Rocks and Foxy seemed to treat him as more than a joke. That feels like intentional erasure. Reminiscent of how the world government has buried the Rocks pirates from history, suppressed data indicates not lore fluff, but a void that Oda is setting up to fill. Now let's juxtapose Joy Boy. He's woven into legend as a figure of promise and liberation, whose appearance coincided with a tragic lapse in history. What if Joy Boy and Davy Jones are two sides of the same coin? One light, one dark. Perhaps Davy Jones is the shadow Joy Boy cast when he failed. Rock's worship of Jones might indicate he idolized not freedom, but the power that enforced cosmic order or cosmic chains. Where it still doesn't fully connect is that if Rocks idolized the figure of sea power, why did the world government or Imu eliminate him so thoroughly? Could Imu have seen him as a threat to the sea's curse, or as an avatar of that curse? Did Rocks seek to co-opt a primordial force, only to be erased like a bad omen? Now, that ambiguity is painful and purposeful. In essence, the Davy backfight becomes a ritual. Davy Jones, a real and potent myth. Rocks, a worshipper of C's eldritch power. Joy Boy, the inverse. The missing piece is how the curse translates into the devil fruit mechanics and how Imu factors into preserving or silencing that cosmic balance. That mystery is the one thread Oda wants us chasing. In short, Rocks wasn't a pirate tossing around names. He invoked a myth with teeth. He built his army not through friendship or fear, but through ritual power rooted in a cursed legacy. And the fact that everything about Davy Jones has vanished points directly toward the truth waiting to be unearthed. Okay, so how does this all connect, right? So here's the thing. The Abyss, as introduced in chapters like 1150, is a terrifying force, not only facilitating teleportation but actively corrupting and transforming those drawn into it. It's a tool of ultimate dominance wielded by Imu and the world government. It's described in fan discourse as synonymous with Davy Jones' locker. And that's the connection. It's a sealed abyss, a spiritual prison where curses linger and where formidable forces are contained. Here's where things crystallize. What if Imu has literally imprisoned the power of Davy Jones within the abyss? His teleportation magic is not just a tool. It's a battlefield, a sealed domain where primordial curses reside beneath Marijoa. This interpretation bridges the gap. Davy Jones' mythic curse underpins the sea's supernatural component, why devil fruit users sink. Imu's abyss is not only a method of magical control, it's the holding chamber for that curse. Gol D, Xebec, in praising Davy Jones, was acknowledging not a legend, but the seat of an ancient power that Imu now monopolizes. This also resolves the dissonance. It's not that Davy Jones is irrelevant, he is the original curse, but now Imu has wielded that abyssal force, repurposing it as a weapon and a cage. Gol D's ambition was dangerous because he sought that power. Imu reacted accordingly. Davy Jones' curse explains the devil fruit weakness. The abyss is that curse contained. Gol D worshipped the source, but Imu now owns it, and that's why it all feels off until you connect the myths, the magic, and the politics. But okay, then what exactly was Gol D, Xebec talking about needing two devil fruits, two specific devil fruits? Now, here's the thing. Gol D, Xebec explicitly says he needs two legendary devil fruits, right? To bring down Marijoa and reshape the world. One of these fruits is located on Elbaf, and he wanted King Herod to consume it, implying Herod's worthiness or perhaps his unique physiology. Maybe it's essential to unlocking its full power. He connects this need to Elbaf's strategic importance and speaks of finding the ghosted Galilea giants to complete his plan. So now here is where the speculations come through for what devil fruits this man required. The Hito no Mi is one of those fruits, obviously, because, it's Nika's devil fruit. And this fruit is strongly tied to Elbaf and its legends of the sun god. Many fans and several sources speculate this is the fruit Gol D referred to, likely the one for Herod to consume. The second devil fruit is left unnamed, but given its legendary status, it might be the Yami Yami no Mi or the Gura Gura no Mi, both currently held by Blackbeard. Some theories even suggest Gol D sought those exact same fruits. The fact that Blackbeard now holds them hints at a poetic passing of the torch, his father's dream carried forward through him. But why Herod, right? Now, Gol D repeatedly attempted to recruit King Herod during the revelry, demonstrating that he saw something in the giant king. And he continued onward to try and recruit him, even all the way up to his, final days. Now, what he saw might be the unparalleled strength, the noble lineage, or a hidden potential that made him ideal for unleashing the controversial devil fruit's power, but yet again, we don't know. Perhaps Herod's bloodline or spiritual connection to Elbaf grants him the stability or sensitivity needed to wield that power effectively. Or maybe the power is what Loki currently holds. Gol D made it clear Herod had to consume that specific fruit, suggesting the fruit was calibrated for his physiology or so, making Herod not only an ally but the key to unlocking this legendary power. And I am betting everything I own on the possibility that this devil fruit is the one currently wielded by Loki himself. So what was Gol D really after if one devil fruit was on Elbaf and maybe possibly another in his possession? And here's the thing about the devil fruits that he required, right? There is a possibility that the Yami Yami no Mi opens the gate to this abyss. Now, if the first fruit could be the Yami Yami no Mi, here's the thing. I'm going to drop the idea that he was after the Hito no Mi model Nika for just a second, right? So, if the first fruit was the Yami Yami no Mi that he required to access the abyss, then the second fruit must anchor or control what comes through. Maybe it allows manipulation of fate, resurrection, or contractual binding like Imus Domi Reversi. It could let rocks reshape reality or trap entities like the world nobles had trapped Davy Jones himself. The idea here is that rocks wanted to summon the demon and then control it. It could also be something related to time itself, some ancient Mirai-based fruit. Think of how Davy Jones is locked in a timeless curse. What if the fruit could liberate or reverse those contracts? Maybe Harold had it. Maybe that's why rocks wanted him so badly. Now, rocks failed. We all know this. But here's a possibility. What if he succeeded? Just enough for the world government to realize the danger and unleash their secret weapons. But here's the thing. They didn't erase him because of the damage he caused. They erased him because of what he knew and what he almost unlocked. God Valley wasn't about gold or slaves or celestial dragons. It was about the soul of the world, and Rocks was inches away from seizing it. In real-world mythology, Davy Jones is a captain of the dead, bound to the sea, cursed for eternity, forced to ferry swords or suffer. In One Piece, Imu's powers show clear signs of being derived from such a contractual demonic force. Kuaru, the Domi Reversi, the marks, and the transformation of people into demonic immortal kings. Maybe the reason Imu needs to mark people is because the power isn't, well, theirs. It was stolen from Davy Jones himself. Imu could have once struck a contract with him and betrayed it. Or maybe locked him up in the deepest layer of the abyss. That's the locker. And Rocks, he wanted to open it.